Okay, so this is the walkthrough for the week 3 team PowerPoint presentation on macromolecules and cells. So first y'all are going to have to get together and decide which of the two topics you want to do. I would probably get this done, I think it tells you down here. Yeah, I'd probably pick that by Wednesday at the latest, and Thursday or Friday figure out what parts you want to divide it into, and then tweak it together on Sunday and Monday. Whatever works for you. Hopefully by now you sort of have a system that's working. So if you do the topic 1, you're going to have the Food and Drug Administration, and you'll do that chunk. If you do topic 2, you're going to do this chunk. And it's going to be a 7-slide, at least, PowerPoint presentation that includes the title and reference slides and speaker notes, so stuff on the bottom regarding your selected topic. Just make sure it's 300 level. That's mostly going to be for how you set up your in-text citations and all that stuff. And then click to submit, right? You just submit one per a team, but you should have all figured this out by now. Let me go pull up that rubric for you. Okay, so here's the rubric. So for topic 1, let's focus on it first. That's going to be the FDA one. You're going to describe what the purpose of the FDA is. Then you're going to explain the laws they enforce as well as the products they do and do not review. So that might be 2 slides, really. For this one, you're going to describe any criticism to the FDA or reforms that were made because of specific instances. Some might have some, like reforms. And then one point to discuss how the structures and functions of various types of molecules affects or should affect FDA reforms and policies. So those 2 people are going to probably work together. And then it's half a point for having at least 7 slides with all the different parts, half a point for grammar and a thesis. The thesis will probably go on your first slide up here, or if you do like an introduction slide, you can stick it there. It's good to do an introduction slide. And then you have your APA, right? So I would say what, 1 slide, probably 2 slides, probably 2 slides, 1 on criticism, 1 on reforms, and then structures and functions of various types of macromolecules, depends on which ones you guys decide to focus on, and then how they should, various types of macromolecules affects or should affect through forms. So pick some macromolecules. Okay. Then if you do topic number 2, you're going to explain the taxonomic level domain, how prokaryotes and eukaryotes are similar or different, right? In here, I'm deciding, should you pick a specific one? I think you can just go general and you'll be okay. Again, you want that introduction with your thesis in it. Introduction slide. Compare and contrast the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic organisms in terms of total number, size, aspects that they make them different from each other, such as components and different structures. That is a big chunky one. Explain how prokaryotes and eukaryotes live in an ecosystem together. And then explain what the endosymbiosis theory is and what evidence supports this theory. Provide an example. And explain how prokaryotes and eukaryotes manufacture macromolecules differently. And this other stuff's the same. So I would guess introduction, title slide, introduction kind of slide with your thesis on it. Oh, I would probably do like 2 columns, like half the slide on prokaryotes, half the slide on eukaryotes, so you can compare and contrast. This one, I would do probably the same thing, or you could do like a slide on each, whatever feels more correct. Since you're comparing and contrasting, probably the column with the differences would be more interesting. It just depends on how detailed it ends up being. You know, it might be like good to do one that compares numbers, size, and then one that does other stuff. It just you can tell if it's too wordy on the slide, you need to make it more than 1 slide. Explain how the prokaryotes and eukaryotes live together. That could probably be a slide, right? That's a slide for explaining it, and then a slide probably for the evidence. Depends. If the evidence you find seems really visual, I think you could put it on the same slide and then discuss it all within your speaker notes, especially for the examples, without a problem. And then this one, explain how they manufacture. You're not contrasting them, so I'd be tempted to do a slide on each. And then you have all your references. Okay, I hope this helped you think of how you might split everything up, how you might talk about it. Remember, we love Google, but make sure those sources, especially when you're doing like the FDA, that everything is credible. One source probably would be the FDA, otherwise .edu tends to be good websites. I would be worried about .orgs in this case, since they can be very, very biased, right? When you're doing eukaryotic stuff and prokaryotic, same thing with those macromolecules. Be careful of your sites. .edu is probably going to be the way to go, especially some of the sciencey stuff. You might be able to pick up some of it from your text, but I'm thinking I would go .edu, or like the Tree of Life might be good, especially when you're talking about the level of domain. Look around, see what you find. The more you look and search scientific sites through your Google search, the better your Google is going to be at finding those scientific sites and putting them first, because of course it focuses on what you do, and then it says, oh, well, you want these sciencey sites, and it's going to prioritize those in your search results. It's really good to do that stuff. You could do scientific papers for the second topic, but I'm thinking they might be a little too complicated for you guys at this stage, but go ahead and look if you feel like it. Just kind of what you're up to. Just be careful that you're credible, because the FDA stuff could go in a really weird place if you don't have credible sources, so be aware of that. Okay, I hope this helps. Split everything up. Have fun doing a PowerPoint. I'm pretty sure this is the only PowerPoint we're going to do the whole class, so enjoy it. And then the only other thing we're going to do other than paper is a pamphlet, which is going to terrify you all, but going to be really fun. So enjoy the change. Yay! There is one other assignment you can do a PowerPoint on if you want to. Just let me know. You'll see. We'll talk about it later. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Have fun.